Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, I'm going to be looking over some of the amazing code pens out there. Alright, welcome back. First, this video, and make sure that you like and subscribe. The more like subscribers we get, the more content we can make. The number one reason why you subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel is to get into the money-making trends before it goes mainstream. So for this episode of Around the Internet, I'm going to be looking at some amazing code pens. Now, there are a ton of code pens out there that are really good, but here are some of the ones that I think are simple and are also really good as well. And they're actually quite amazing. Now, one of the things about this particular show, Around the Internet, if you haven't been there, basically I'm looking at a website, a video, or just something around the internet that I can kind of casually look at and show you. Now, if you don't know, Codepen is an online editor that allows you to edit in real time. It's really good, and I really do like it quite a bit, even though I haven't used it personally. I know that a lot of people do use it here, but the one thing that you can do is if you are looking to learn to do web development is to hang around Codepen as much as you possibly can and to try and do this here. So I have, let's see, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I have 6. Now, of course, there are amazing code pens everywhere. I could do this almost every day if I want to, but I do want to take a look at some of the ones here. So the first one that I want to look at here is this one here, is the Explorer. Now, it has this parallax effect of the mountains, and the font is so well done. And if you look at this, you can see that the font itself is changing as from, like, you know, if I move it in here, you can kind of see it's in the middle. This is absolutely amazing. And again, this is all done. There's nothing really special in here. Like, if you look at the HTML, it's nothing special, right? The CSS is nothing special. And then this one, this is actually quite a small amount of code. Again, I guess it is kind of small, but you know, it's pretty cool. Now, does this work? Oh, look at that. It does animate. It doesn't animate back, but that's okay. This is really well done. I can't tell you how awesome this is. So first of all, the word really pops out, and it uses a color from the bottom here, as well as this is a blue of some kind, which again kind of rhymes with the upper bit here. So I know this seems really simple, but it's so well done. Remember that if you want to learn to code, you should be reverse engineering something every day here, right? And so you can see here, you know, you can even actually, the best part about Codepen is that you can play around with it, right? Like, you can play around with all these numbers here. Like, if we make this, I don't know, negative 2000, right? It should, you know, it should do something, and then it kind of breaks it, I guess. But no, oh, let's go, negative 2000, right? And so, you know, you can kind of see that it might, yeah, you can see that this really does break it here. But anyway, you get to see, what it is, right? So very, very cool stuff, right? All right, next one here I have, now this one is really neat, all right? So first of all, it has diagonals. Now, this may not seem like that big of a deal because we've seen ads and everything. You've seen ads on like the subway or billboards that use this. And this is very easy to do in Photoshop, but this is so difficult to do in web development. If you want to do that, this kind of this kind of rotation here, it's difficult. So I'm just going to do that like this, and you can see that everything is kind of skewed that way. And again, amazing. I can't really. So even if we do 0 here, you know, that's kind of neat. But you know, you don't want to overdo it, and like doing it the other way doesn't look very good. But so it's something about this negative degree here. Something like this would look pretty good, and you know, as a result, very, very good stuff. And by the way, you should, if you are into web development, you should definitely try to enter in some of these competitions to get in here, because having your project featured on Codepen is definitely good for, well, pretty much anything career related. Okay, now, this one's simple, not too complicated, but look at this. Look at that. Very, very nice. Okay. So, you can see that like this animation and like the background and everything, beautiful. Okay, look at that. So it's not just, so let's just take a look at the night side. So first of all, there's scrolling clouds and that the daytime isn't a white. Okay, again, it's these little things that make a good web developer an amazing web developer here. So it's not a white, it's kind of like a beigeish color. And then you can see that there is the clouds moving from left to right, and you can see that there's different levels and different speeds, right? And different opacities too. I wouldn't be surprised if that is within the code here. Now, of course, I could audit this code here, but you can see that, this one has quite a bit more. Yes. Okay. So the reason why these polygons here are like this is because they're using an SVG, I believe, or in this case, a polygon tag. But nevertheless, it is SVG, and you have to and even though this is very simple, this is what the computer looks like in terms of SVG. And if you don't know what SVG is, it's scalable vector graphics, and it means that you're drawing something in computer. Like if you have to take a picture that's pixels, but SVG are literally drawn computers. So Adobe Illustrator uses SVG here. So as you can see, like this animation is absolutely amazing. Like, look at this. This is so good. And you can see that the stars themselves are actually are bright as well. So that's really cool too. So you can see that if I look at this here, it's looking pretty good. And then the JS, let's see. Yeah, so it's like you can see that the stars it's an array. Cool. Very, very good stuff. So obviously this was, again, something. So when you're first starting to learn to code, you might want to build the biggest possible thing, but building something like this, which is just simply a button that's done like over the top, that is something that you can learn well. And this is what I'm always talking about when it comes to small practical projects. It's things like this that make it work. Okay. All right. We have 4 more to go. Let's take a look at this here. Now this one, this one's pretty cool. All right. So you can basically take an image and you can do all these really cool effects with it, right? Now, this is not something that's necessarily new, but you can see that it's very, very cool stuff, right? Very, very interesting. And you can definitely do this with your own image as well. You can play around with it. So if I'm looking at the CSS here, input, all right, you have to do things. And so I'm also on the Brave browser, by the way, which is Chromium based. So, I'd love to see this on on Internet Explorer, but yeah, so you can see that the functions, we got the particles. Okay. Again, I'm just doing like a quick audit of this stuff. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So this one had to be in there. And also you can see that the pixels go down as in terms of the size too. So it's being calculated on the image here. So if I draw this, yeah, okay. And then if I go over here, let's see what happens when I move it down. Yeah, you can see that the pixel sizes are different. So this is really cool. You should try it with your own image. Okay. So this one is kind of interesting here, right? You can see that so like little things like the night and day and this here, this is something that you might want to add to your own website. Okay. And this is cool. What I like about this one is that there's no JavaScript here. It's pure HTML and CSS. And look at this. Look at this. The HTML is, there's not very much in here, right? And the CSS, this is where all the work is done. Okay. So you got the mountain view. Look at this. So like there's a parallax effect, and you can see that there's a gradient as well. Right, so there's a gradient of dark to light, and that's for all of them, by the way. Very, very good stuff. So again, this is something that's really basic and really simple, but it's really well done. You can add this to your own website. Now, remember, one of the things I always like to do when it comes to building projects is like, if you build this for a part of your website, that is like something that you can use in your portfolio as a part of a bigger website. Right? So even if you're trying to build a whole website from scratch, maybe just build a section that's done really well first, right? Again, it doesn't have to be big. And this is the hardest thing to learn. Even I struggle with this today. I want to build something that's too big. Simplify everything down and go forward here. Now this one Actually, no, before we get to this one, because this one's probably one of my favorites here. This one was really good. Okay. So, all right. So I love this. It's a joke. They put a raccoon in there called Trash Panda. Hilarious. Okay. So first of all, this is so well done. If you want a newspaper-like website, wow, I can't tell you how awesome this is. Okay, so first of all, it looks like a newspaper. First of all, you can see that the background's some kind of image here. It's not necessarily it's not a color. It's some kind of image. I'll look into this, but you can see, there's tons of humor in here, right? Hogwarts Express. Avocado toast. So, one of the things I always like to do is, like, if you put in like a little bit of humor, like if I was looking at this, if I was hiring a web developer, okay, and I looked at this, 100%, I'd be like, yeah, let's get this guy in at least for an interview, and most likely okay. So if you're looking for a job and if you've ever hired someone, sometimes from the portfolio that they are going to be awesome. Right? And that you're probably going to hire this person. So you get them in for the interview. So if I get them in for the interview, right? Chances are this person's going to be amazing to work with. Okay. Guaranteed. The humor, like that's big. The humor, the sophistication of this is just really well done. I can't say enough good things about it. Right? So let's take a look at some of the CSS here, right? So there's quite a bit of CSS here. I mean, I'd have to do like a full audit to see like how refactored this is, but it's looking pretty good. Like obviously the end product is good enough, right? So that I'm pretty impressed with it. So if you made this and then you completely screwed up the interview, then you probably wouldn't get hired. But, it also depends on the company. Like this, if you're looking for more of like a fun company, like more of a smaller business, this is the kind of thing that you'd want to do. If you're looking for like a bank or like a pension fund, this is probably, it wouldn't be so bad. Like it would work in that case too. But this is more like a trendy startup, kind of small, medium-sized business with, that's kind of where you would put this here, but very well done. And as long as the person didn't like mess up the interview, this person would probably be very hireable, because one of the things that if you're not good to work with, you're going to get fired at some point, or you're not going to get promoted for a raise. It's just that simple. Okay, last but certainly not least, this one was definitely, like, this one was probably the biggest one. This one blew me away when it came to when it came to this. Okay, so let's look at this here. So right off the bat, before I even go here, let's take a look at what this is. So first of all, it's mostly a monochrome to start off with. Okay, and you can see that this here. Okay, is it an image? Well, I kind of know that it's this. I believe it must be some kind of 3D render. Okay. The only reason I say that is you'll see why in just a second. So this isn't an image. Okay. But let's just scroll through it first, and then we'll kind of dissect it here. Okay. So you can see that, as you're scrolling down, the airplane follows. Okay. And if you look at this, so right here, it's not an image. This is a 3D model. So this is what blew me away. So this looks like a fairly standard, blah website, but then boom, wow. This is a model. It's a 3D model because you can do that stuff now. And look at this. We have the parallax effect with the clouds. Wow. Right? You can see that the clouds are above the images. Wow. Then this is what really blew me away. Okay. Whoa, it turns into a wireframe when the airplane moves down here. That's crazy, right? Look at this. Everything's animated as you scroll down. What? So cool. So as you can see, there's a wingspan here, right? We got anything circles is just difficult. So if you've ever tried to code anything with a circle, difficult, okay? Look at that. By the way, have you noticed that the airplane's getting bigger? I mean, because it's a 3D model, you can do whatever you want with it, right? Look at that. Oh, so cool. Look at this. And then it kind of like flies off and you're done. What? All right, and so look at this. You have the animated, the GSV scroll trigger. So cool. I mean, so this one just blew me away. So let's go up again one last time, and then we'll kind of figure this out here. Okay, so look at this. All right, so you can see that it's moving around, and then you can see that like this. Like if you had a product, this is what you would want to do. Like if you had a product, you would want to render that product inside. You'd want to render that product, and then you would want to do something like this. Now, obviously, an airplane is flying through the page, but any product could do that, right? And then this is what would talking about the technical specs of whatever your product is. Yeah, that's exactly what you would want to do, right? And then so this is such a cool ending. Like, wow, flying off into the sunset. So there's a lot of cool things that are done about this. Unbelievable. So it's no wonder that this was near the top of the best Codepens. So I could probably do this. Let me know. Okay, so this one's interesting. So let me know which one of these was your favorite. Which one do you think was the hardest to do, and which one do you like the most? So let me know in your comments down below. I think these were all amazing, but this one I think was my favorite. It was just like, this is hard to do. It's just flat out. But let me know your favorites. Also, let me know if you want to see more of these Codepens, because I can do lots of these different Codepens, probably weekly if you want. Let me know what you want to see around the internet, and I can do and reverse engineer, talk about things. Just let me know, because this was a very good episode. I enjoyed doing it. Again, please like and subscribe. It really just help us out. And if you really like this channel, you can subscribe to Man Interactive's huge library of content. It really does help us out when you subscribe and get our monthly or yearly options. It really, really helps us out. Thanks for watching. See you in another video.